Welcome to the garden I've dreamed of, where wisdom gathers, where grandmothers listen, and their voices collective weave hope for generations. Can I tell you my favorite place? It's where stories are told through the skill of our wonderful Sandra Lobb. Can you hear the echoes of their experiences resonating with yours? I invite you to explore them. What a joyous time it has been for me. What a joyful gift we can bring to each other and to the mothers and the children yet to come on our precious home, here on our dear Mother Earth.
Here we are with Grandmother Gayle Crozmas, Grandmother Gayle Black Bear. You've been called a spiritual activator. I can attest to that. You are an initiated shaman, a master drum maker of beautiful ceremonial drums that live all over the world. You are an artist, an author, a teacher, public speaker, and performer. The stories you tell us, and they are all over our Global Grandmother Council website and on our Facebook group. The stories you tell are extraordinary. Some are from the books that you've written and are writing. They are testimonies to the existence of other realms beyond our ordinary one, which is not so ordinary of late. Maybe you'll talk a little bit about that. You travel to these realms and to other countries to bring strength and faith and practice to those wishing to awaken their self-actualization and the deepest parts of their soul. I think we're going to get some of that on December 21st, this winter solstice, when you are our guest for Tending Our Roots. Grandmother Gayle, can you tell us a little bit about what you have planned for that final offering?
We're not sure yet because I do follow the guidance of the ancestors, and you never know what they want to share with you. So I am just a channel of hollow bones. They speak through me what they want you to know. And that happens a lot when I come to something like this and I have no idea what they want to say until it comes out of my mouth. But I will be offering a stonepipe blessing ceremony, which I was gifted from an Ojibwe elder, Grandmother Key. And I will be talking about the winter months, because this title of this presentation is Winter Solstice Retrospection. And the winter months are often hard for people because everything slows down. They're isolated. In some places, like myself, the weather conditions keep you from traveling or going anywhere. And we're forced to go within because we don't have all the distractions outside of us to go skiing or walking or whatever it is that we do to fill our life. So when we go within, then all of a sudden we start to feel the pain of what we have experienced throughout the year, physical pain, emotional pain, spiritual pain. And this is when we go into the cave of the bear, which is the space between the four lobes of the brain. And in that space is the vortex of your existence. And when we go there, we look at our challenges and our traumas and look at, say, what did I learn from this? How has it changed my life in a better way? What gratitude can I find of this experience, no matter how difficult it was? There was some good that came out of it, and there always is. So that's the retrospection that we delve into through the winter months, um, and find healing in that. Once we find, because we are in control of our emotions. Nobody can make us feel anywhere, any way. We decide what is going to trigger us and not trigger us. We are the ones that are in control of who we are and how we react to the world around us. And every time we get triggered, we're going, okay, there's something there that we need to look at, and see what more we need to do. The onion, the peel, as they often say, is just another layer, another layer, another layer. I was once asked by someone, when does the challenges stop? And I said, it doesn't. It's how we react to the challenges that is the important part. How we transmute and transform that challenge until the point where the challenge, instead of debilitating you for weeks, months, or years, we find the transition between the challenge and accepting the challenge and transmuting the challenge can go down to days, to hours, and sometimes just minutes before, okay, I look at that, that's good, I learned from that, all right, I'll let that go and have gratitude for what I learned from that challenge. So that is what I spread around the world of how to awaken, is because we have to look at these challenges that happen to us in our life, and how they have affected us in a positive way. Have the gratitude of what we came out of that, and just the gratitude that we're still alive. We survived that. I've had numerous near-death experiences. I shouldn't even be here. I have had numerous physical ailments. I should be paralyzed from the neck down and not be able to use my hands or my legs or my feet, but I'm still doing that because I refuse. I refuse to accept the diagnosis that you're done. I go, I'm not done. When I was told by one of my doctors, well, you shouldn't even be able to walk. And I said, well, somebody should have told me, because I didn't know that I shouldn't be able to walk. So I just kept walking. And so that has how I lead my life, is like, no, I'm not going to allow that to guide my life. I often talk about challenges, riding shotgun and always poking you with doubt, with fear, with I can't do that, you can't do that, you're not enough. And it's always going to be there, sitting beside you on your shoulder. And then I say, I'm the one in charge. I'm the one holding the steering wheel. You are the seat beside me. And you can talk all you want about your negativity and your doubts, and I'm just going to brush that aside. You can yap away, and you're always going to be there yapping in my ear or trying to create doubt, and that's fine. You can just yap away. I know who I am and what I can do because I believe in myself. I can manifest miracles in my life because I believe in miracles.
Yeah.
And that's the whole round of it. During my presentation, I will do some drumming and I will do some chanting to activate the deepest part of your soul. So as we go into the winter months, hopefully my ceremony will awaken you and prepare you for the retrospection that you're about to go into.
Beautiful. We look forward to it. So
Thank
great
you.
to see you, Grandmother Gayle. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Oh, thank you, Sandra. That was lovely. And Grandmother Gayle, we're so excited to have you here today. So, welcome to Tending Our Roots. This is our day 10, the winter solstice with the Global Grandmothers Council Network. These 10 days with voices of wisdom from our grandmothers has been our offering to the world, to our grandmothers, to bless all of our lives as we go deep into these winter months and deep into our own roots. Global Grandmothers is a nonprofit movement to raise awareness and preserve the voices of grandmothers. We envision a place where the world listens and heeds our wisdom. Now's the time, and we are the ones. So let's rise together and come together and gather all our stories and life experiences in Grandmother's Garden. That's the private web platform we've created for this purpose. And be sure to go to globalgrandmotherscouncil.org. Click join to enter the garden. If you're a grandmother or a woman of wisdom or someone who wants to learn from the grandmothers, come and join us there. And at this time, I'd like to just welcome Grandmother Gayle Black Bear to the good morning.
Good morning. I
Good
just
morning.
smudge going.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I'm so looking forward to this experience. In the background of each of these 10 calls, it has been really rich and full for me, and I know this will be a culmination of that. So thank you.
Yeah, I just watched the introduction that we did with Sandra, and I'm going, now what am I going to talk about? I said it all in the introduction.
I'm sure Spirit's going to speak.
Yeah, so I can't remember if the introduction said where I am. I am on the doorstep of Algonquin National Park. I am in Algonquin territory, and the north part of Ontario, Canada. I was raised in Anishinaabe territory, down in the southern part of Ontario. And the hides that I use for my ceremonial drums come from Mohawks territory. So
Wow.
I'm bringing the tribes together into one by working with my area and in my profession.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Well, I would like to start out with a smudge, and I offer this to everyone. Ooh. I bring the smoke to my eyes, and when the smoke clears, may I see your beauty. I bring the smoke to my mouth, and when the smoke clears, may I speak only words of wisdom. I bring the smoke to my heart, and may the Creator see the love and the purity of my intention. I offer the smoke up to the Creator. May He join us, He, she, join us in this gathering. And I offer the smoke to Mother Earth for all she has done to protect us and nurture us and keep us safe and alive. So with my smoke, I also have tobacco offering. And offer this in respect to the land that I'm standing on, to Mother Earth herself, to the universe who guides me. I thank you. I thank you all for everything that you have given me and everyone else in the world. I add that to my smudge. Also on my altar is the sweetgrass braid. And it was taught to me that the braid represents the strength of community. And that's what this Grandmother's Global Council is all about, is the strength of the community, of us joined together, arm in arm, heart to heart, to bring healing and peace and strength to our families and our friends and all the people and beings around the world. The candle that I have here is the World Peace Candle, the living flame of hope. You can Google that and they'll give you the whole story behind it. But it began its journey in 1999 and has been traveling the world since. I was gifted the World Peace Candle, and in every candle lit from that World Peace Candle, becomes part of the World Peace Candle movement. And the purpose of this movement is like the 100 monkey experiment, is to expand the collective consciousness of peace. So those who accept the candle into their hearts and then continue to pay it forward to everyone that they meet, they become part of that worldwide collective consciousness of peace. And we're getting to that tipping point. We're gaining ground where we're going to tip that scale into the feminine direction of nurturing and love and peace and support. So that's what's on my altar today. And the retrospection that I talked about is, as I said, the challenges that we have faced, not just our own challenges, but the challenges of our friends and family as well, where we were unable to do anything other than observe and support. So what do we do with those challenges now that they've gathered over the year? Now that we have our time to relax and think about the past year and everything that has touched us, we have time to heal that. But before I talk more, the ancestors are bugging me. They said I'm supposed to remember to call them in, and not just my ancestors, but yours as well. Everyone who's listening or who will listen, the ancestors will come to support this retrospection that you're going to be going through the winter. Now I'm going to be singing into my Inuit kilot. As Sandra had mentioned, I was an initiated shaman, and I was initiated in Greenland at the Arctic Circle. And the kilot is an Inuit instrument of the big sky. But when I built this kilot, I built it with the intention of celebrating the condor and eagle prophecy. And in this kilot, this hide comes from Cusco, Peru, which represents the heart. And the frame comes from British Columbia, Canada. And the handle comes from here locally in Ontario, chewed by a beaver. So that's in the north, and that represents the eagle. So this kilot represents the north and the south, the eagle and the condor. And I'll explain the teaching that I had received about the eagle and condor after I call in the ancestors. I will back up a bit so I don't blow out your eardrums. Ho, 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 Hinotona me kona he puna he oto nahi koto mahina he o te koto he He Hey ah ne ho hey ah ho 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 hey ah hey ah hey ah hey ah hey ah. Oh, blessings. Now, the reason I built my kilot around the eagle and condor prophecy is because I watched a documentary several years ago, and it's called The White Road. And look that up. It's an amazing documentary done in Mexico. And it talks about the different sacred sites and different ceremonies, and follow the festivals around Mexico. And when they came to this one temple, and they had the elder come and to explain one little section of the temple, and it's carved in stone. It's at the base of the temple. And the temple, I cannot remember the name of it. I'm terrible with names. I apologize for that. But if I remember on the map that they showed, it was in northwest Mexico. And I think it started with a T. I'm not sure. But anyway, on the base of this temple, carved in stone, was explained by the elder that there was a figure in the regalia. So you can see from the neck down, the body dressed in regalia. But where the head should be was just an empty square alcove. And beside the head, carved, was an eagle next to the head. And beside where the heart would be on the body was carved a condor. Well, I had been to Machu Picchu, to the Condor Temple, and then the heart and the heart stone there, and I'm going, the heart stone, the condor, right? And then when the elder explained, he said the alcove, representing where the head should be, represents hollow bones. He didn't use the word hollow bones, but he did empty head. You have to be empty or vacant of any thoughts. And to me, in my other teachings with the Lakota, it's hollow bones. And it's about letting go of doubt and fear and greed and envy and judgment, all those things that keep us from rising our vibration to a higher level, that keeps us in a low vibration. And so he explained that the eagle represents our mind and how we need to let go of all of the things that keep us from going to the next level. Then he explained that the condor represent the heart. And I have kind of put that together because I had been to Machu Picchu. And I thought, and he said, when the mind and the heart are in alignment, that is when the condor and the eagle come together. Because I had been listening to different variations of the condor and eagle prophecy, and being autistic, I needed a visual to understand the teaching. And this was beautiful visual carved in stone, that by aligning our mind and our heart within each and every one of us, that is when the condor and the eagle come together. So that is my favorite version of the condor and eagle prophecy, and the one I stand by, that we need to be hollow bones in order to channel the light of the creator, the light of the universe, the higher self. We have to be hollow and step out of ourselves. So that's where I come in to talk about the cave of the bear, and about being the space between the four lobes of the brain. And this is something that I had sort of stumbled onto into the cave. And then later on, the teachings came that has been used by different cultures all over the world to go into that inner space of self, our inner universe. And at one point, I actually experienced the space between my atoms, where the atoms were like giant beach balls bouncing off of each other, and I was the space in between watching them. And then I realized that our true selves, devoid of our human skin, is the space between our atoms. And if that is our true selves, the space between our atoms, then that space is connected to the space around us. And then if that space around us is connected to the universe, then that's how our inner universe is connected to the universe out there, because we are the space between our atoms. But there's fear involved, because we have to surrender to the darkness of nothingness. And that's scary. I wrote a whole book about all the scary stuff I went through as I was awakening, because I didn't understand what was happening to me. And there was so much fear there because I had nobody to talk to. And so I wrote the book for other people who were also experiencing the same challenges of awakening, so that they could not be so fearful of what they were experiencing. The beauty of quantum physics is exactly what they were experiencing, and how we are shape-shifting our thoughts and our body through intention. So there is a protection that I've been using since the 80s, when I started, exploring myself. And I would visualize myself being inside of a rainbow soap bubble, and that the soap bubble would protect me. And I could put it around my car and, around my house, however I wanted to visualize that. And that would protect me from external forces, negative forces, unbalanced forces, however you visualize that. And it's not to put yourself in a bubble and not deal with it, but it puts yourself in a safe place so that you can surrender to dealing with it. Because we have to surrender, or we're not going to get the answers, because our mind is busy calculating. And what does that mean? Is it okay? And is it right? Should I believe this? And we get all these doubts. And so that's where we have to bring in the condor and the eagle prophecy. We have to get rid of those doubts so that we can surrender to our hearts. And we do that I do that. However, everybody's got their own way. But how I do that is to visualize just jumping into the darkness in that space between the four lobes of my brain. And in that, I enter the void, the nothingness, the great expanse of the universe. And there, you set your intention before you go. And you come back and you're going, well, I didn't get any answers, but you didn't get them up here. You got them in here. And then as a situation comes up, or a trigger comes up, then all of a sudden the answer comes up and says, oh, that's the answer there. Now I know how to deal with that. And I was protected while I explored the options of how I need to deal with different situations in my life. I'm celebrating the solstice because, let's see, exactly how many years ago was that? 13, 14 years ago. It was the winter solstice, and it was a full moon eclipse, all happening at the same time. And 3 of my friends wanted to come over, and I said, well, why don't we just come over and gather and just have a tea and just sort of just be together. And we can, we don't have to do a ceremony or anything, but just to support each other. And so we did. We just had our tea, we chatted, we shared our challenges over the previous year. And then one of the persons watching me said, I'm getting a message. And so it's Randy Morrow, Lomi. He says, I need to get you to go on the table. There's something important that needs to happen here tonight. So I had 3 of my closest friends and laying on the table. And they said, well, let's take you back to before you were born. So I went back right into the womb of my mother and felt the agony and the pain that she was going through emotionally, because my two older brothers had died at birth. My mother was Rh negative, and this was back in the early 50s when there was no medication and or treatments, and the babies just died. And so my two older brothers died, and I wasn't supposed to live either. So while my mother was carrying me, she could not invest any love, because basically I was a dead baby. I was going to be the moment I was born. So my parents withheld that love. And I could feel the pain of that love being withheld. And next thing I know, I am born, but there I am standing outside of the incubator because I'm dying. And that was exactly what was going to happen. But this time, they started experimenting in 1953 with doing complete blood transfusions in order to save the babies. And that's what they were doing. And over a period of 7 days, as I'm standing, my spirit is standing outside of the incubator, watching my newborn self trying to live. And I'm standing there remembering what I've already gone through my entire life. And my friends are saying, what are you going to do? Are you going to step into that baby? And I'm going, oh, I don't know. I don't think I can do this. She's going to have too hard and too difficult a life. I can see this future of hers, and I've already experienced it. And I don't want to do that. And then all of a sudden I realized I've already done it. I'm standing outside of myself, remembering my past and my future all at the same time, because as we know, there's no such thing as time. We can experience our past, present, and future simultaneously. So there I am standing in the present and the past and the future. And I said, okay, well, I guess I can do it because I've already done it. And I stepped into the baby's body and I lived. It wasn't an easy life after that either, because, there's always complications. So that's my winter solstice story from my birth, and the challenges that I had to face coming from that. Many, many challenges throughout my life. And the reason why is because I had agreed to come to this earth to experience trauma, to transform it and transmute it, and see it from an observer point of view, and then heal that. And then by healing that, then I can go out into the world and share my experiences, not as I'm crying, feel sorry for me. I share my experiences as, you can do this. You do have the strength to do this. You just have to believe in yourself that you can do this. And like I mentioned in the introduction, I should have been dead. Many times I've had a few of those near-death experiences, and I keep coming back. And I should be paralyzed, but I'm not. And it came this close. It came this close. And I'm still fighting it and challenging it to stay away. I'm going to keep going as long as I can. In fact, this old body that is crippled and worn is going to Bavaria next spring. And then I've been invited to go to Iceland to do a summer solstice circle at the Arctic Circle. We're going to take a 3-hour boat ride across the North Atlantic Sea to an island at the Arctic Circle in Iceland. And I thought, well, that's kind of apropos, because 10 years ago I did a summer solstice ceremony in Greenland at the Arctic Circle. So here we go again. But I shouldn't be able to do that. I'm old. I'm crippled. But like the negative voice sitting at my shoulder poking me, it's also poking me with, you can't do that, you're old, you're crippled, you're in pain. I said, you can't control me. I have a life to live. I have experiences to experience, and I have people to meet and places to go. So that was my beginnings and my life path. Now I want to add one of the traumas that I experienced was with my Celtic family. And when I wanted to build my first drum, Spirit said, no, you're going to have to buy your first drum. And it guided me to a Celtic drum. And I wondered why a Celtic drum. And Spirit said, well, because first thing you have to do is forgive your family and forgive your ancestors for all the trauma that they have caused you and each other. I thought, I don't want to do that. I thought to myself, I don't think they deserve it. But of course they do. Because it's going to free me by forgiving them. And whatever challenges that they had to face, they gave me strength. I gained that in the DNA, but I chose a different path than what they did. So then I had to learn how to play the Celtic drum. And one of the drum songs that I do, and you can access my CD free on SoundCloud. So you go Crozmas/Brown SoundCloud, and then you'll be able to access all of my songs, my drum songs there for free. And the first one is called Horse Medicine, and it's the gallop. And when I do this horse medicine song, it lifts your emotional body up out of your physical body so that you can fly like an eagle and see life from a higher perspective. Because that is the point of this, is to be the observer of your life, to be emotionally detached, yet compassionate. And I learned that from my Hawaiian mentor, Harry Jim. Compassionate disengagement is the words I believe he uses, so that you can be detached, but still have some compassion for what that experience is about. So this is the horse medicine and the gallop. And if you want to follow along with this drum meditation, just close your eyes and plant your feet on the floor, be comfortable, and then follow the sound of the galloping horses as they lift your emotional body up out of your physical body. Now, often people will find that either they were riding the horse or became the horse, and then the horse shape shifted into an eagle. It doesn't matter how it felt. Everybody's going to be individual in their experience there. But that is one way of meditating. Because I'm autistic, I can't shut the brain off, so I can't just go into that meditation as easy as everybody else can. So sometimes I have to make a lot of noise so that the brain can't think. And one of the other meditations that I teach people is let me see, which drum beater do I want? There we go. Now this is my Siberian drum. I'm multicultural. Starting in the East, Mongolian, Siberian, Ukrainian, Irish, Scottish, and Ojibwe. So all of those ancestors live within my DNA. But when I was born and they had me complete blood transfusion, I also inherited the ancestors of all the blood donors who kept me alive. So I also inherited their traumas and challenges. So I had a lot of work to do, my own and everybody else's. This drum song, this is a Siberian teardrop, and they've carved from a tree stump of a tree that was taken down by an ice storm at Alderville First Nations. And we were invited to help clean up some of the wood. And so from that wood, I built this beautiful Siberian drum. But the song that I want to play on this for you is Hawaiian. And that's the Ho'oponopono drum song, taught to me by one of my teachers, Harry Jim, not him himself, but one of his guides, Auntie Margaret. She came to me during a Ho'oponopono workshop that he was conducting at my studio. And while they were at lunch, she taught me this song. And it starts in the middle. And she taught me within minutes the background of it, the mathematics of it, and the purpose of it. So when we're starting in the middle, this represents our center. And then we go up to the 12, down to the 9, across to 3, down to 6, and then back into the middle. So if you're a drummer, try this one. And so when we're going to go around the clock, and then again, center, 12, 9, 3, 6, center, center. So when we start and then we and stop again. That's why the double beat on the rest of the rounds. So what this does is creates a triangle, 12, 9, and back to center. And then from center over to 3, down to 6, and back to center, it creates a second triangle. So this creates the infinity symbol in sacred geometry. And this past winter, when I was in Hawaii and was honored with a blessing from one of the Hawaiian elders, and she gave me a Hawaiian blessing scarf, and it had triangles all over it. And she said these triangles represent the ancestors. So I hadn't realized until this winter that I was also calling in the ancestors with this Ho'oponopono song. So those who most of you know around the world, the Ho'oponopono prayer, I am sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. But when we're doing this beat, the mathematics of it, we have to focus on the sacred geometry. So while we're focusing on the sacred geometry, we don't get visions. We can't chant or talk because what it creates is, in modern terms, is mindful meditation. So this is really handy for me to shut the mind off so that I can go into that space between the 4 lobes of the brain. So those who are ready, that also is on SoundCloud as well. If you need some assistance and reminders on the sound of the beat, now that you have the mathematics of it, then you can follow along on SoundCloud and follow that beat. We're getting close to near the end here, and I wanted to finish up. Before I finish up, I want to do a clearing with the swan feathers, and one is from Iceland, gifted by Nina, and one of them is from the Netherlands, gifted to be my Miranda. And the teachings, one of many teachings of the swan, is that when the swan lands on the water and they're floating around, it's their feathers gather water into the feathers, and before they can take off and fly, they shake all the water off, or else they wouldn't be able to fly. And so basically letting go. So what the feathers, to me, and one of the teachings, one of my favorite teachings of the swan, is about letting go, sweeping yourself down with the swan feather to let go of whatever energy that you want to let go of. But I'd like to finish this off with a blessing ceremony that was gifted to me through Elder Dan Creeley out of Chicago. And his teacher was Grandmother Key, Ojibwe Grandmother Key from Garden Island, Michigan. And this is a ceremony that she created because some people don't feel comfortable doing a pipe ceremony if they're not a pipe carrier. That includes me. I have a pipe, but I'm a pipe keeper, not necessarily a pipe carrier. So the stone pipe, she said, share that with the world. So this is some, usually there's another mixture that she had recommended, but I am really clumsy at putting it together with nerve damage in my hand. So I have to simplify for my disabilities. So from the smoke, I offer it to the energies of the north, and I call them to us. I offer it to the energies of the east, and I call it to us. I offer it to the energies of the south, and I call it to us. I offer it to the energies of the west, and I call it to us. I offer it to the Mother Earth, and I offer it to the Creator. And now I offer it to you. I offer it to your forehead, and I say, may your mind think with clarity. I offer it to your heart, and I say, may your heart beat with bravery and courage. I offer it to your hands, and I say, may your hands continue to do good work. I offer it to your feet, and I tap it to Mother Earth, and I say, may you continue to walk upon her in a good way. Blessings and balance. Balance and blessings. Ho ho. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Grandmother Gayle Black Bear. I am feeling very deep in that space that you've created. I appreciate these moments and look forward to applying it in my life for the rest of this day and the coming days to really be that essence that I truly am, and not just who I sometimes think I am. I really have valued this ceremony and teachings. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So now we're going to bring on our dear one divine. Hello, beloved.
I am.
We have really been through it these 10 days together, haven't we?
What a ceremony. What a ceremony.
Yeah. So this is our gift to you who are watching and listening. We are so thankful to be able to have the technology to bring this wisdom to you. And I've been learning in the background. One Divine's been teaching me so much these 10 days. And she also has been working on our website and platform and Grandmother's Garden and the marketplace and the academy. This is a true gift of service that we are offering.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a ride, and it seems to have paralleled, right, with what's going on in the collective of, tech challenges and changes. We were noticing before there was even changes in this studio, like they moved everything, and it was just such a metaphor for what's happening right now. There are a lot of changes in how things are operating, and I've experienced this before, right? Like my iPhone is all updated and they move things and the settings, and then the things are settings. And so we're really going through so much change and challenge that, we learn from and grow from. But this technology that you speak of, this is the time, this time of prophecy would not be possible actually from this point in the timeline without the technology that we're moving into. And it is not all bad, but it allows us right now to be live. This used to require trucks and teams to do a simple live news broadcast. And now we can do it from our laptops and reach the whole world. And this gathering of the grandmothers that has happened, that has been a zeitgeist this year, was part of this, that the grandmothers were feeling this call. And the things that I'm bringing to it, I'm the founder of an organization called the Mothership Alliance, and the Mothership birthed and worked with the grandmothers. And I communicate with the spirit team grandmothers, and they have guided me for so long. The Mothership started with an event called Grandma Live, and it was prophecy and foreshadowing in the movie in 2020 of what was going to happen. And in the spring, we held an event and a container called Seed Activation Ceremony that was opened, that ceremony, by Grandmother Flor de Mayo and closed by a grandfather, Alan Green. And I don't question, as many of us who follow spirit and guidance, we just say yes, we discern if that is for us, and we do it. And I got kind of a chuckle from the grandmothers when we seed activated, and then it ended up being Grandmother's Garden was what was grown. And I had no idea that this was even coming. And this happened with this group, that it went from a few thousand to 55,000 in Facebook. And everyone was feeling in their heart this call. And the kind of ecosystem blueprints, they speak, on a lot of these broadcasts about it being a website. Well, it's actually multiple websites and platforms that are pulled together into an ecosystem. And the Mothership and our fam, which is kind of dwindled down to a core group, because there's been a lot of movement, a lot of trying things. But we've been sort of modeling and trying these templates, from temple ceremony to broadcasts to classes to community and trying different platforms and moving around from different things and trying different tools, because we need these tools in order to bring our work out there for so many who are in need right now. And what the world needs right now is grandmother. It needs wisdom. It needs these cultural tenets and practices, some new coming in, but those who have the hollow bones to bring it through, right? And then also bring through and return to clan culture, circles. And our garden is actually on a platform called Circle. Many of you might be on other communities on Circle, which is great because you can toggle and go between realms, right, if you will, and be in community. If you want, Mayanna, I would like to speak to the ecosystem, and we can even share. It was it was interesting. I was texting Mayanna at like 12:40 a.m. As I returned. It was just hooking up a couple of other wires and gears, and my sister sent me the live sunrise ceremony from Glastonbury, and I lit a candle and sat with that. And I knew that we had been presented with certain tech challenges for things I've done 1,000 times that like weren't working, hooking up the URL, like all of this stuff. Certain sites, they're down, come back later. Like I was sending this stuff to Mayanna while I was doing it. I'm like, okay, but I trust divine timing, even if it can be frustrating and it's not my timing. And how the timing worked out, including like I had to take a nap and a rest from the screen, coming back, that this academy, this our core little demo academy, all of this is a model of the micro of what we can achieve in the macro as we grow, as we raise more funds, that we can use more robust tools and have more things that will bring this important work, these voices, these programs, these systems, these curriculum, these media and shows, all of that. But we need a system where we can find each other, where we can do this, where we can have tools to do it. And that's what was called for. And as I was called and the grandmothers came to me as they, I have, friends, I'm part of it. I'm part of the court council now, because this template that was originally sort of modeled, and we did incredible work through the last 4 years. The grandmothers kind of came into me with a little cheeky attitude about like, oh, sweetheart, you've been doing this for us all along. You just didn't know it. And so bringing this together in an ecosystem where we can have a core with the garden is the center. It is the community portal. It is our private membership. I have existed. I wanted to speak to this. I have existed and communicated with my group and my people for 4 years in a private community. We have a public Facebook group, as does the Grandmother Council Network, which is huge. But we can reach, it used to be 10% of the people in the group, you would see your feed. Now we're lucky sometimes if it's 2%. So we have no way to email everybody. We have no way to communicate. And we also are experiencing, many are experiencing censor or AI just randomly taking things down with keywords and things. And that has been an issue. In 2020, I was banned off of Facebook irrevocably. 12 years of my work, my pictures, my business pages for a headline that I used that was something that the group Q uses. I almost am afraid to say the letter. Okay, what does that tell you? And, it's not all evil. Some of it's evolving technology and they're trying to get people feeds and everything. It doesn't matter. We need to be able to not just share memes and articles. We're not going to get anywhere with that. We need to be able to come together, organize in groups, local circles, create events, and actually get our message and our communications to the people that want to do that work. So the garden, may and will be perhaps a smaller group, but we have different levels for people to come in to that circle platform that is private. It is women only. And then we grow and we organize in there what shows we're going to do, what classes we're going to do. And then those can be brought out into the other nodes of the ecosystem, the marketplace, the academy, and I would call media the other one. And that might exist in multiple places. And perhaps one day it is possible with sustenance and funding and an energy exchange where we could have our own type of YouTube where the grandmothers could have their shows or their videos and people could just opt in to see them or buy them if the case may be. So all of these are an effort. All of this is an effort to bring us all together. And many of our grandmothers, many of our light family, I call it, have their own communities. Many of them have their own circles. Many of them have their own nonprofits. But we need to be able to tether together so that we can share resources as we've done in the past, share wisdom, and lift together, because everybody trying to swim and tread water by themselves is not going to work. We're going to sink, right? We need to create these islands. And I actually brought on, I wanted to share, I uploaded a PDF, and this is a quote that is actually in Sharon Raji Maynard's signature on her emails. And I have included it on, many presentations in our core thing, because this is it. When a complex system is far from equilibrium, small islands of coherence in a sea of chaos have the capacity to shift the entire system to a higher order. Like, let that sink in. And for those who follow quantum physics or whatever, homeopathy, you understand this. And what is happening in the grandmothers gathering and enacting this, and even just modeling it on the micro for the macro, and working through communication issues, ideology issues, and all of that, and rising above it and coming together to do things, ripples out into the collective. And this is what the grandmothers want. This is what the grandmothers want. And many of us, especially the grandmothers, come from a generation where they're not familiar with this technology. They don't have marketing savvy and that sort of thing. And that's why the grandmas called on this granddaughter. They're like, oh, honey, you know how to do some of that stuff we need to do. Can you fix it? Can you show us how? And it also is a frustration of mine. This has been over a decade in the making of receiving, of being shown. I was shown in 2013 the censorship that would happen and how we would need to communicate and find each other with picture, with song, with hashtags, and all of these things. It's wild to see grandmothers even coding their language in comments and posts so that it doesn't get taken down. That's wild. And it's come true. And I was shown it was going to happen. And so we need to find each other, but then come to sacred sanctuary and place where we can communicate freely and have the tools to do what we came here to do. And we know that when we get together, even just energetically, focusing our intention on one thing, and we can do that one thing after the other, and how powerful that is. And so that's what the attempt is here. And it's a baby. It's not, it's only been just over 2 months, like 8-9 weeks that we've been even open doors to onboarding. And I'm still learning some of the tools. I mean, I've done the research and I've used certain tools, but we ourselves, Mothership, moved over to Circle because it wasn't scalable. We thought we had a larger solution, but it wasn't ready. Suzanne Lewis. And the logo that came that the grandmothers guided me right to, I will speak to this, in that gourd that she is holding in that picture. We had it happen this week. And we didn't even realize that this was on there. She's had this sacred painted carved gourd that is amazing. And when I was creating, I called myself a branding alchemist. or an autistic mystic, grandmother Gayle. Lots of alignment there, Scottish, Irish, like the whole thing. But she tipped up the bottom, and you can see now, there we go, our symbol, sigil, and logo is united hearts in a network, in overlapping and sort of multidimensional. That's what we are, and that's who we are. And this was on the bottom of the gourd. She has the interlocking hearts, and we didn't realize that we were on, and she tipped it up, and we're like, it's the logo. So that was really exciting. And so without too much more babbling, I'm really passionate about this. I really want people to understand that don't get caught up in the minutia, or this person said that, or, you know, maybe there's an error, or I can't load events from my phone, but I have to be on the computer. Like little things like that, the larger picture of what we are doing and what is possible if we do it together. It is impossible to do by ourselves. It is impossible to bring enough people to raise, you know, all of this, and this is why division has been sown, so that we wouldn't. And people waiting for the government or corporations to fund this, that's not going to happen either. And one of the ways that it can happen is if we all throw a few beans in the bucket. What we can create, the tools that we can access, so far beyond what we've kind of like put together with what's available, beyond. So I would love to share my screen and show the website.
Yes, please do. Yes, please do. Yes.
Okay. And so Mayanna was the first one to see the Academy. And in fact, I didn't know, like, we were going to do a whole website with the courses on it. That wasn't even in the plan. But again, just like we were speaking about before, the platform that we're using for the course is high level, and we use it for multiple things that we'll be able to grow into and help us with tools. But they changed stuff that people are having issues with, and they're going to be fixing some stuff in Q1. But it forced me to have to create sort of a different simple website where you can sign up for the courses, and then you have the portal. But that was this week. I had to do a whole kind of like sub-branded website this week, and it finalized on Solstice last night as the sun is rising in Glastonbury. And then I sent it to Mayanna. So you guys are one of the first to be able to see it, and it's all hooked up to our website, but it's multiple websites that can stand alone. And again, the garden is at the center. That is our community. That is our center, our circle. And then we have our academy, which is public facing. It doesn't have to be all women. It can be any ages. In fact, it's intended to be all ages and intergenerational interaction and teaching. And then we have our marketplace, which is also a baby that people can put their products or services on. And we'll be loading those in the beginning of the year and seeing what we need to help the grandmothers to do it, because some of them might be challenged. So do we need volunteers? So, okay, I'm going to stop yapping and then share screen. Okay. Share.
This has really been a labor.
Yes. Okay.
Love.
So here is the main website. This is the main website. Many of you may have been there before, globalgrandmotherscouncil.org. There's a great video featuring our very own Mayanna that takes you through and shows you the ecosystem that I just spoke to. And we're updating our about and our mission and vision as we go. And this is where you can access, join GGCN as a member, enter the garden. These are garden members. So there are 3 different memberships. There's something for everyone: seeds, flowers, fruits, and nuts. And I won't go into deep. All of these are on here, but it's an energy exchange and it's support. So those of you who step in for just $13 a month, who can support, we can create so much more. We can create so much better technology and offerings and programs and help in sacred activism. There's so much that we can do, but it's also an exchange, an energy exchange, because those who step in and give a little bit of support also are able to have discounts on all of the things that we do, premium workshops, events, and then offerings that people give, and then advertising spots. They can list and sell in the marketplace if they want, but you don't have to have a business to be a flower. You could just be bringing your wisdom and your support, and you also receive free premium offerings, discounted premium offerings, and the ability to be with consuls. Fruits and nuts are those who maybe have something that they want to bring to the marketplaces and they want to serve in the councils, but there is the community itself is free. Many offerings are free. Many classes are free. There is something for everyone, but we do encourage support through the memberships. We have the ability to donate here. We donate through a platform called Zephy, where we get 100% of the donations, and you can do that right here on the site. They absorb the costs of the transactions. You can choose to give them a little something to help support that, but we get 100% of those donations. And we are open, encourage, and welcoming larger donations, whether it's from a company, perhaps generational wealth, or whatever, that this is the place that you've been looking to give, to leave a legacy. We're building a legacy here. So consider us in your holiday giving. Consider us as a supporter of this mission that is just itself a seed that is growing roots right now during the winter, and that's going to bloom into so much prosperity and so much joy and so much purpose for those who are creating it and a part of it. So then we've got our marketplace. Again, this is a separate URL, even though it seems to be part of like one website, which it is, but it is pulling together, just like our heart logo is what I'm seeing right now, all of these places and spaces. So here is the marketplace. Our global grandmothers will be able to, right now, it's a store that's been put up with a storefront. We've hung our shingle, and we have our categories, and we've got the container ready to receive. And over the next couple of months, we will be bringing grandmothers on to share their wares. We've got Grandma's Closet, where you can get stuff from Grandma's Closet, vintage items and all of that, and spirit and altar, beauty and wellness, and clothing and accessories. And then global grandmother services, we've included professional services, healing and wellness, coaching and mentorship. So much to share. We have a lot of elders, myself included, who are professionals, graphic design, things like that. So these are the different areas from that. And there's a nice little video overview. These are single purchases. It is not a shopping cart platform and software. You individually will purchase. It goes to the grandmothers. 10% will go to the Grandmothers Council Network and Peace Production Nonprofit in order to pay for the platforms and also to hopefully build and grow as an organization. And let's see, we'll go back. You could see we've got us two in here, Mayanna.
More will come.
There's different. We'll be filling the shelves here of all these different offerings, and it is simple, but it works, and it gives our grandmothers who are not going to set up a Calendly, not going to set up a whole store or a Shopify and pay $40 a month, a place where they can sell some of their things. The beautiful drums can be sold in there, all kinds of things. So really excited about that. And I'm excited to put some things in there. And then we've got dun dun dun.
Brand new.
Brand new
today.
Yeah. So we've been working on the back stage, and here's the academy. Very simple, as I said. It has a little intro about us. and you can read that. We offer enriching programs focusing on education, community service, health, and cultural preservation to empower elder women and bridge generational gaps. This is just the beginning of the process. And then from here, it'll just jump down if you want to see the courses, but also just scroll down. And these are a few. I wanted to have sort of a sampling of different kinds of offerings for as we open it up. And these are loaded in the last couple of weeks, and learning how to build the courses and the nuances of that. It's been such a process for me personally too, learning, doing the course creation on a new platform. And so if you wanted to get the course, you just click on it and then you put in your email. And when you get multiple courses from here, they will all show up in your portal, and I'll show you what that looks like. And then also when you want to see them, say, uh-oh, somebody didn't get the button right. What's going on here?
Yeah, the link's not right. Okay.
Okay, let's try this. So just really quick, so you can see more information about all of the courses when you do that before you go in or purchase that. And then the last thing I'll show you is, so for example, this is where you would sign into your account and see that. And I didn't set one up from this profile tab, so I can show you that right now.
So you can go in yourself and find it. Just go to the website and play around and click around.
Yes. And we'll be building. I'm going to stop sharing here. I think that's covered everything. You join the garden from the main website. You go all the way back. So this is the hub that you can get to everything from. But once you are in those, you can, here's it. We'll
so
just show the
globalgrandmotherscouncil.org.
Yeah. And here's a peek inside the garden. So I'm already a member. So when I hit login, you can do that. There's a Circle app. You can access it from your phone. We have events all here that can be added to your calendar. You can see what's coming up and RSVP and get an email. This is where we can reach everyone that is more difficult on Facebook for us to do. You have home. There are different conversation spaces. It's aggregated into a feed. It's very much like social media and Facebook experiences that you had before, where you like and comment. And this is where we can do it privately, safely, and we can go into deeper conversations. We can have chat areas. There are classes, call this the Garden Academy. So for example, we got a couple in here. We held an event, we turned it into a class, and Sandra did a series. We turned it into a class that people can access here. And I'm in the admin mode, but so you can see we have like a micro of the ecosystem with the classes and with the sharing and all of that in our own little garden world. And then we bring those out, and some might want to try out things there. So
this is a place where you can share your pictures of your grandchildren and not be concerned that someone's going to steal the photos or find out who they are and where they are. And you don't have to be afraid. We are just grandmothers and women with wisdom coming in here and nurturing and building relationships. You can search the members for those that are near you and start gathering together in local councils. This is so important that we be able to do our on the ground work, that it's not all just on the web. This is about getting together in our local communities and really leading in our communities and sharing our wisdom. So,
So we're just getting started. Don't mind the little bumps. Like I said to Mayanna, I said the pioneer grandmothers endured much worse than us. Than like, I don't want to fill out a new profile. Like, okay, we can do this. If we want something different, we've got to do something different. and we've got to support it, and we've got to stop waiting for other people to do it for us, or companies to have the good conscience and intention to create something that's beautiful. We can possibly have companies that believe in this, that sponsor us. There are so many ways for us to grow and grow in prosperity that allows us to do more. So we invite you to join us to create that momentum, to create the conversation, to create local circles, to create goods and services, to create your teachings. Us coming together is just so powerful.
And before we go, we also have a monthly magazine, and our dear Kalina Baines, Kintsugi Woman, has created a magazine. I put a link for it in the comments, and we'll be featuring a grandmother every month in our grandmother magazine, and there are advertising opportunities. So if you know a business that wants to support the grandmothers, or if you know someone who's ready to leave a legacy, please consider us as we're coming to the end of this year. And may the blessings of solstice and our own inner journeys take these 10 days. If you haven't already seen all of the videos, go to our YouTube channel and Global Grandmothers Council, and there's a Tending Our Roots playlist, and this one will be added in later today. So
yeah,
thank
this
you
whole
all.
series. Thank you all. Thank you.
Much love.
You want to end it?